Welcome back, everyone, to Whiskey and Business with Josh and me, Travis. This is season 2.5 because we went on hiatus again, but we're back again, and it's very exciting.
Well, the hiatus was because we had so many issues with microphones. It wasn't even our fault. It was just having 3 people versus 2. It was like, because either Travis was echoed or I was echoed or the guest was echoed, and it was Paul from the Racketeer. And
Still looking at a solution, though. Did you see the mics I sent you the other day? You can plug 4, they communicate 4 individual lav mics straight into the camera. Yeah.
What, like the newer ones or the DJI ones?
It's a different brand, but it has high reviews. I was thinking that would be dope.
See, that would be cool.
Because if we had like 4 people out here, instead of the boom mic setup, just mic them each up, feed straight in.
That would be way better.
So.
Yeah, see, that was our problem.
We might still make it back to the Racketeer. We do miss you, Paul.
Yeah. Even though I'm the what? I'm the urban boy. I'm the urban boy.
Paul's just surprised that I found someone as loud as him, so.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I didn't say much.
Well, you know what? Every time I walk in the Racketeer, I think there's like, I hang out with everybody and they all like me, but they don't want to like me because I'm so like LA-esque. But then I'm not to that point where I'm too LA-esque. I'm like still like really cool, but like I'm on that border where I'm a special category.
I think it's called a chode.
You motherfucker.
That's what I've heard. I don't know. Just a little, maybe a minor.
You're a chode. You're chuded.
So welcome back to the podcast. Yeah. We've missed you.
I actually missed these podcasts though because, dude, I mean, we were on a fucking roll, and then there's so many people that still like I get like notifications on like our first season of like, you got like 3 more views. I'm like, dude, I haven't even done anything with this. Right.
Well, and that's the thing is I don't understand how the viewership is low, but how many people actually like take me aside. You guys were part of the podcast, right?
I know.
And I'm like, we posted 1 episode of season 2, maybe 2 episodes, and people were super hyped on it, but the viewership was like 5 views. And I'm like, how have more people told me they've seen it than have actually watched it?
Well, because we posted it on social.
True.
What I think we did, instead of doing like a feed to social that like is like an embed from like Spotify or iTunes, we just posted it. I think that was a mistake because we have a lot of views on them, but they're not correlating to the actual podcast views.
It makes sense. So today's episode, we're relaunching it 2.5. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, the 4th quarter, where we are with marketing, where things other companies are seeing, things that we're seeing as marketing professionals, as well as talk about life and where we're going as a company. You may have seen a change between what used to be Pulse Productions and Miller Media to TBD Marketing. It's official. We've come up with a name. It's TBD. So, yeah.
Should we go into how we came up with that name? I don't think a lot of people don't know what that name.
After we
do this, yeah. So the whiskey that we're going to review is the tried and true, everybody knows it, the Blantons. The Blantons. So everywhere you go, there's, no matter who it is, they know if they see the little horse guy, it's a good, high-end bourbon.
And isn't this special too? Like, don't people collect these specifically? Because there's a different
top for a lot of them, yeah. Top. Yeah, depending. So the Blantons.
It's actually pretty highly sought after.
It is. And it's only like $50, or depending where you go. It's really not that expensive. It is good as a sipper, not gonna lie. I mean, if there's a place I go to that doesn't have really good bourbon, I will just get a Blanton's. They usually have that.
Oh, one big update too. Josh has become insufferable with his knowledge about whiskey. He's obsessed. And FPV drones. So he likes to fanboy out on things. And since we started the podcast, I started to. He knows so much more now. So I'm gonna keep up with the it tastes good.
So like season 1, where we're like, wow, this was good. Oh, this is rocket fuel. Wow.
Yeah, Josh's descriptions are gonna become way more civilized. Mine will still be like, this is good.
You think my descriptions are civilized though? I don't think they're civilized. I think that's like a niche of people that watch this.
You take a sip and you're like. And then you go into your thing. Anyway.
Dude, you got it, man. So, Blanton's, I'm sure everybody's tried it, but I don't know if this is a Buffalo Trace product. They have Buffalo Trace has a lot of good A lot of good bourbons, but they have also the lower end stuff. You're gonna get the actual Buffalo Trace, like big bottles, but they actually claimed to be the first single barrel bourbon. So when I say claimed, I don't know, because there's a lot of good ones. Like I was telling you off air, there's just a lot of good single barrel stuff. But they claim to be the first, original. So
Well, people can't tell a lie in marketing. I think we established that
we did
before.
establish that in another episode. So. Now
It's like Kentucky's best.
So the Kentucky's best.
Throwback.
You should roll the clip of that.
Throwback to you trying Kentucky's best. I picked up a whiskey called Kentucky's Best, and I was like, oh, well, it says it's the best, so let's try it. And Josh about shot out of his seat.
So cheers, my man. Let's try it out.
We'll get back to that.
I just skyrocketed. Okay. All right.
You should put that clip in there.
Yeah.
That's fine. Oh, this will be the standard thing where I just add shit. Oh, dude, do that shit.
We're making special effects. This is Sparta.
This is Sparta!
Hey, we did it last time. So we're
That's
gonna
why
pour
we
this
get
bad
hired,
boy.
dude.
Give it a try. We're not gonna give away what we're doing though. We'll give away the notes afterwards. So let's just give it a sniff and a taste. See, it's the same amount, Travis.
He got a bigger glass than me.
I like
Comment in the comments as to why that's unfair and
Gotta
rude.
do the shot.
Yeah, look at that.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Whiskey in Business 2.5. Oh.
2.5.
Well, let's get in the topic. So,
Updates.
updates.
TBD.
The business.
How did it happen? I don't think I've heard you tell the story as much as I have told it.
So, on our social media, we have a picture that we posted, and we were just like we were on a drone. We were flying the Mavic drones, and we were just getting a drone shot of for like a client, and we were sitting in the car. We're like, dude, we have to come up with his name. It was like what, 6 months? Like we've already established we were gonna like.
We had lots of suggestions. My buddy Nathan, I forget what.
Marketing RS.
Marketing
Oh
RS.
gosh, dude, shout out to you, Nathan. But yeah, I don't know about that one. Dude. Watch, everybody's gonna agree with Nathan. Oh, you
Yo,
should
you
said
should've
marketing
marketing
RS, dude.
We saw how that worked out for Toys R Us.
Yeah, we
and I
did.
haven't recovered from that.
No,
So.
me neither. There still is actually. I think there is one Toys R Us somewhere.
And a Blockbuster somewhere out there.
Somewhere out there. There's got to be. But it was like, 6 months. And we were just on the car. We're like, dude, we have to come up with a name, bro. Like, we got to get this established. We got to start doing our brand kits. We got to do our colors. And then Travis was just like, we should just name it TBD. And we both just sat there in like silence for a second. And we're like, actually,
That actually sounds
that actually
pretty good.
sounds really good.
We'll just write that on the form. That'll be the name.
To be determined. Oh, and then we can make taglines like, "Oh, our business doesn't matter," and because like we're to be determined because we care about you as a client. Like we have
Our name isn't as important as yours. Your name is the one that matters. And now we're to be determined.
To be determined.
You know, there's so many different ways you can actually work it. And it's funny because our clients, as we did the change, he was telling me how funny it was because our clients were like betting with each other of whether or not we were actually going to like tell them the actual name.
Oh yeah, because we said no, we're TBD. They're like, "Oh, nice. All right. Well, so I guess I'll find out later."
Super meta, while also being very, not on purpose.
It
but
is.
also
It is
kind of-
funny when
yeah.
we say like, "What'd you guys name the business?" TBD, and they're like, "Oh, you're still deciding."
No. Or what,
No.
oh, what does that stand for? I get a lot of those. Travis, Bertram.
Travis, Bertram, Dick. Wait,
No.
no, not that one. This is not a child podcast, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta make sure we check that box, not for kids.
Yeah, not for kids on YouTube. YouTube. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really fun, but TBD marketing.
But it's been going good. I mean, obviously we touched up the studio a little bit, if you hadn't noticed, and
a fancy schmancy backdrop.
we've been taking on new clients, expanding. He's been obsessing over FPV drones.
Dude, FPV drones are nice. But you know what? You know what is good? So like we've been working together for like I think 3 years already, a little bit more. We've already been working together, and but now that you're like, now it's TBD, you've been getting so much more involved in like all of my nerd crap. that like it open like now your mind is like you're getting so fluent in what to do in terms of the marketing
It's
off the
insane.
media.
Yeah.
So what is your take on all that? Because like me, I'm so calm when stuff happens or like people ask me for things but now you're involved in that. It's not just like editing a video and getting a perfect edit and the client's like, I love this. Now
Oh yeah, it's very different to be on the side of ongoing client relations and like the little specifics that goes into running an ad campaign, maintaining the website, fixing the website, all of the stuff that, I used to just create the video and give the video and they're like, oh, it looks great, like 99% of the time. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, sweet. But now, there's so many more things that people need, that they need attention for right then and there. It's not even like a fault on anybody, but it's like, hey, I have this question. And I'm like, I'm good at selling your services now because I can explain the benefit, but explaining the codec of this, I'm like, I got let me get Josh on the phone. But because we've also grown so much since we've just combined forces, selling together, pushing towards the next level, I handle a lot of the communication because I'm the one who sees that message first. Because Josh is managing the team, working on pushing everything out. And then it's like, I'm talking to everybody. So it's been a huge difference to like ongoing relations where the clients, I don't just do a really cool video and then say, see ya, and then see them in a year or so, or do some fun social media stuff.
I mean, that's even sounds simplified. Like,
yeah.
but like, I mean, editing a video takes so much freaking work.
Yeah.
So but usually the work is like, because you've already done all your due diligence with the client, but it's a different interaction.
You filmed it the right way, but you give the product, and then there's not an ongoing like, okay, guys, what are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do now? What are we gonna
take this video? What are we gonna do with that video? Is it gonna be an advertisement? Is this a good call to action?
It's really interesting because then the passion changes now, because it used to be, first it was making really good videos, then it was helping businesses. Now I fully understand what it means to help businesses, and we've been working with a lot of really various clients. Half of them are friends.
Yeah, I know.
Like
it is cool.
Have either been friends first or become friends while working together. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a big changes.
Oh yeah, 100%. In the media, I just hate editing videos, unless it's FPV videos. I like doing that. I'm a very selective editor, which is why we started working with Travis, which was why me and Travis got connected, was because I literally hate sitting there and doing it. I had to do it because it was, I didn't have the money to just throw at like freelancers all day long. I would selectively have a freelancer, and then they would just be editing my videos, but then eventually be like, oh yeah, I gotta upcharge you now. It's like, okay, well, shoo, like, I'll do it myself, But I hated doing that because as you know, there's so much involved in using all these assets that I have to get to, and then, sitting there 6 hours, 8 hours in front of a freaking computer, that's like a whole day. And then I got to work at night and do all the other stuff.
And you go into a certain mindset when you're editing a video. Like it takes you like time warp, like 8 hours gone.
I know. It is a time warp.
Staring into a screen. But you do the exact same thing with what you do as well. So jumping back and forth between like just staring at a screen for 8 hours, creating a piece of art, and then staring at a screen for 8 hours, doing data analytics and shifting these campaigns and everything. I can see how that would be like,
I created a resentment,
which is why I know I want to know how it works so I can answer questions, but I don't want to know how it works, because I want to keep my mind still in that there. Because if I stare at the screen like that for 8 hours with just numbers instead of creating something like that,
you'll create a resentment like I did.
Exactly.
I resented video because of the time it took to do one project.
And jumping back and forth is like, I don't know how. I mean, and that's just a sign of growth of where we are going as a company, because now it's like we're doing way more than we ever have.
100%. Well,
we have to switch it all up to make
my media was good, but I didn't focus on it like you do. So there's nuancy things I could have done or whatever in a video, but I didn't. But the client doesn't notice that. The video looks great anyways. But to us, we're like, oh, you could have added this or whatever. The media was not a specialty that I wanted to, like, I focused heavily on the other stuff. So as a marketing and media company, I I did specialize in one thing, but I offered everything. Now we have the luxury of specializing in each category.
Right.
And so we give the attention to detail in all the things we do. That's why it makes it so much freaking better, because now you specialize and all your attention's on the media, all my attention's on that data analytics, nerd stuff, website designs, whatever. And we can just collab now, or now it's TBD marketing. And you get a specialized, I guess, service in all of the categories that you
Right.
as a client.
We can offer everything, and then we can put our best foot forward. Because I feel like people having that passion for what we were doing separately was really, really good. But now that we're both on the ball, we're able to focus on the quality control of every single aspect.
Right.
And I feel like we're sounding like a commercial for ourselves, which we always avoid.
Use TBD marketing.
Use TBD marketing now. No, this is just, it's just a
an
fun
update.
update, you know. I mean, we barely ever talk about our company growth or who we even are, so.
I don't think we ever
do
touch,
that
like,
really
even our like, I guess, teachable tech talks or whatever that we go to and we just present stuff to, we don't even have our brand anywhere. We just like have a
Right.
slideshow and we just teach them, and then people want to talk to us after.
Well, and
you
we're
know.
always like encouraging, now pick out your marketing company carefully, but we don't actually say pick
Yeah.
us. I think it's funny though, because
No.
now that I think back on our podcast, we haven't, you know, we introduce who we are, but we haven't really
No.
talked about who we are at all.
We didn't have a branded background,
Right.
you know. So it was just like basically like two dudes drinking whiskey talking about marketing.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, I mean, hindsight, we're getting more involved in like putting our brand out there, because as freelancer or people like,
It's almost like a marketing company should market.
well, it's the
themselves.
humbling factor though, right? Like I don't like having people listen to me or you or like anything that we do and say like, oh, they're just trying to sell us, because there's so much information that we know.
Yeah.
That like, we're in the business realm. There's just so much that we can help people. And the one thing is, people don't like to listen to that because they think they're just being sold to. And so that was the whole thing of us, like, oh, just give the value. Don't put our brand. But then it's like, crap. We gotta start putting our brand. But we don't want to preface it, I guess. So that's just a thought. But
Yeah, I feel like we go back and forth. We've gotten better at saying, hey, this is who we are, this is what we offer, but we're not telling you that you have to hire us. Let's just get down to the nitty gritty of how we can help you.
Right.
Because we want to have those relationships. And, you know, we can't work with everybody anyway. But
No, we
it's
can't.
good to have conversations about marketing so you know who to hire and you understand where that value is and when you may be misled, because there's a lot of bad actors out there.
well, there's
Whether or
also
not-
clients
whether
that
or
don't
not
get
they
along
need
with
to.
us, right? Like,
Yeah.
or we don't get along with them, and it's like, okay, well, that's fine. People are people, right? And we're pretty selective in who we actually work with. We always preface that in meetings too. We're like, hey, this is also for us to see if you're a good fit for us. Like, we don't want to work with somebody that we get tied into that is a bad experience, because that happens. It happens in business. It's happened to me. It's happened to Travis. It happens to everybody. But like with us, I don't care about how much money a person pays us to do anything. It's just about, do we work well together? Do they understand how we communicate? Do they know and respect our time versus like how we do to them? Because every client, we respect their entire operation. Some people take advantage of that and they think that we're like some full-time employee that they can just boss around, right? So there's clients that we get along with and then we don't. And we have a plethora of just marketing companies that we know that we can just, hey, you might mesh well with these guys better.
Refer it out. I mean, there's no harm in not working together ongoing as long as you keep things peaceful, which, you know, the guys like us, we keep it. That's really important to just be like, hey, you know, maybe this isn't working out.
Right. Some projects take longer, some projects don't. Some have things that happen, you know, you get delays. It's how it all meshes together, you know. And I want, you know, when I started my business, it was like every entrepreneur, they just take everything. They don't care. You need to survive. I've learned that is a terrible way to run business, and because I've ran into so many issues, and
You'll run yourself into the ground if you're not careful.
Yeah, you stop loving what you do too. You know, it becomes more logistical and like people pleasing versus like doing what you actually learned how to do and you love, and you can execute it. You know, so it's just a different feel, and that's what TBD marketing is, right? Like that's why we partnered. Travis and I we have so much in common, but then we don't have a lot of things in common, but we mesh so well together. Like we are like the epitome of like the friendship of like, you know, totally different people, but we're not different. I don't know how to explain that better.
We level each other out quite well.
I'm a super loud, eccentric person that wears really provocative or funny hats. And Travis,
I do appreciate you not wearing that hat today. I know you were tempted.
I did. I even brought my TBD marketing hats to make sure, like, what if you like, dude, don't wear your Tired Dad hat.
Tired Dad.
You know,
it's your brand these
dude.
days.
Everybody knows me as a Tired Dad hat, man. But you know,
I'm gonna do that Determined Dad one soon.
Yeah, see,
That's
that one
gonna
would be
so
cool.
awesome.
Determined Dad. You should just make it as a hat, dude.
Well, I want to do Determined Dad and then the TBD logo
Yeah,
on the
the TBD
lower
logo.
corner. It's gonna be
That's gonna
awesome.
be sick. I want to see how it turns out before
Yeah.
I order it. I still want that one shirt though.
Down the side. I should have worn that today.
But like,
we made a bunch of merch too, just for fun.
oh, I know. Well, dude, it was fun though. We were ordering. We're like, let's try this.
We wasted an entire day. Oh, let's make a background. Let's make a rug. Let's make a shirt. Let's make hats in 4 colors.
You know, but hey,
You gotta enjoy your brand.
it's fun now because I still have my old, like, even in my garage now, I have that old Miller Media poster.
Yeah.
That was the first poster I've ever had.
Dude, I gotta figure out where my Pulse ones are because I used to have those hanging in my home.
You had them.
office.
You had them at the
They're probably
at the
in this
wedding
closet.
Inspire weddings, but we overlaid it. Remember, you had to tape some
I
stuff.
had to tape it so the Pulse brand wasn't on there.
So it's somewhere, but yeah, that's an update on the TBD marketing. You know, but now hobby wise, FPV, dude.
It's just still tied into the business. It is still a business expense.
This is a business expense.
All right, I'm gonna lean back and tune out here for maybe like 20 minutes while Josh tells you all about the wonders of FPV.
Yes.
I used to be the best drone pilot, by the way. I used to be the best out of us two. And then he used his ADHD brain and just
That's exactly what
hyper focused on something. I couldn't reach him for days on end, multiple times.
You're like, you finally get a hold of me. You're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Dude, check this out, bro."
Or he FaceTimes me
It
at
still
like
happens.
midnight. Oh, look! I turned my garage into a drone studio. Check this out, bro. And I'm like, I've been trying to reach you for 2 days. I have clients out the wazoo asking questions
Listen,
that I can't answer.
when I'm focused on something, I gotta get the service up and running. I gotta make my money back. But
Goddamn Adderall, man. Seriously.
you know,
Anyway,
so it's funny because FPV.
Sure. it is badass.
I'm a
I'll give you that.
hobbyist, right? I either there's a video game that
No,
comes out.
you're
I will.
an enthusiast at this point. You're not a
Now
hobbyist.
yes, I'm an enthusiast now. But like my brain is like, you know, I do that thing where like if there's something super fun or like a hobby I get involved in, I'll go 110%. Like I won't even bat an eye, and I'll learn everything about it. And with FPV, I purposely did not want to become that. And so we talked about FPV. We bought like a standard super, you know, blind and fly kit, and then I learned on the simulators. I went on the simulators for like the past year. I got my license. I got all that stuff, right?
And then one day the FPV bug bit him, and he was just
That was it.
transformation.
I got my first flight.
Dropped
you know?
another like $6,000 in new equipment.
Oh, I think it's like 10 now.
10?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But like, you know, I had the first, like, because I did the simulator, making sure that I knew how to fly before like I actually got the drone. Because I was like, you listen, if I crash that,
Travis, drop footage in here while he talks so people don't get bored. We'll show off his flights.
Yeah, show
keep
off the
going.
flights.
Keep going.
you know, but it's basically like, you know, I wanted to get involved in a hobby that like I can actually tangibly use for a business, because every hobby I would get into, it's like, it's something I'm just dumping money into. And I'm sure a lot of dudes can relate to this. And it's just like, but you're just dumping money. That's all you're doing. And I'm like, like, why can't I have a hobby? So FPV, I didn't interpret it that way. I just said, Travis, I just want to get something easy, but we need to have an FPV drone.
Yeah, and then I said, no, we can't buy these out of the box ones.
Because you did the soft
I researched
research,
a bunch of them.
you know,
Yeah,
and then we're like, oh, let's go with this.
it has to be one of these, because these other ones, like, because I bought one of the DJI Minis to test it out, and I could deactivate the stuff, but the difference between an FPV drone and a quadcopter is huge.
Right.
Like when it doesn't fly the same way. It's not something that you can actually project yourself through.
You can't
something.
manipulate it in certain aspects.
It doesn't move the way that it needs to move in order to get through the spaces you need to get through.
Right.
and that's a massive hindrance. And so I didn't trust like the established DJI products because I'm like, these ones, they look
The
good.
Avata.
Well, I was watching other guys fly them and
We almost
watching
got the
these
Avata.
reviews, and they're just like, it's fun, but it's not.
FPV.
It's not. And then when you've worked in the industry long enough, you know when a person who knows what they're doing and like is nice about something, because yeah, it's nice to use, but it's not. You know what that means.
Right.
When it just doesn't hit the mark the way it needs to. And if we're gonna invest in something, it has to hit that mark.
Yeah, because we would have launched the service and then we would have been bottlenecked. Like there would have been certain things that we can't do.
We wouldn't be able to meet the need that we were trying to meet, and then someone else would see what we're doing, and then they would meet the need.
Right. You know, and that's the whole thing, though. You know, I was for the past year and a half, I've been just using a simulator, and then I finally went on a flight. You know, because what happened was I had the first FPV drone, and then you have to do a bunch of stuff. I don't think people realize how much work and knowledge you have to connect to the computer. You have to update it. You have to bind it to this remote. You have to bind it to these goggles. I screwed up and bricked the receiver, and then I just left it, and then just did the simulator. I finally just said, all right, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fly it. And I did.
I wish I would have recorded your FaceTimes when you were walking me through everything you were doing, and you're crazed.
Bro, look at this, you know?
Middle
and
of
you're
the
like,
night.
wow, dude, like, that's so cool. You know?
I'm just like, that's awesome, Josh.
Awesome, dude, it's 1 a.m, you know? What are you doing?
No, look at this. Look at this.
No,
this
bro.
wire isn't touching this wire. And he's like looking really close. Here, let me prop up the phone. Okay, this wire. I'm just like,
You're like, wow, dude.
that's great, Josh. Let's make some money off of this.
You know, yeah. And so now I'm addicted to it. But it's a good addiction where I actually there's a lot of redundancies I didn't know where, you know, there's different sized drones for everything. You know, I have a sub 250 gram for the FAA, so then I can fly over big crowds. I have a 3-inch for little smaller areas. I have a 5-inch that's just mainly for everything that I like. And then I have a 7-inch for just, you know, over the top mountain shit.
We now officially have a TBD drone collection.
Yes, whole collection.
And
right?
you have an entire room.
And I have backup remotes, backup goggles, backup parts. You know, I have everything. You know, and then I let my friend borrow fly my drone, and he crashed. And I was like, well, shit, I'll learn. That's my learning experience where I don't even have parts to repair this.
You are.
Yeah. And it's not his fault. I coerced him.
Right? Yeah. No, he said no 4 times, and you still made him.
Dude, fly
it.
the drone, bro. He's like, all right, fine, and then just launches it 900 feet in the air. And, you know, yeah, that was brutal.
Demonstrate how you're just like, just take it. No, you'll do fine. You'll do fine.
Okay. Yeah, but
geez.
you know, but then that exposed that I didn't have any parts, right? What if on a job I crashed? And then I'd be like, all right, well, I'll see you back in a month, you know, because it's all coming from China.
Yeah. What if you're at a wedding?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. Well,
What if I'm at a
we'll
wedding?
see you in a month.
Yeah.
And we'll refilm this.
You know, or if it just stage
Doesn't
it?
work.
No, it doesn't. And so I ordered replacement parts for every one of our lineup, right? So but then I learned how to tune them, and I learned how to all this stuff. And but I tried to do a service like FPV where I just wanted to have the FPV and just that's it, not realizing that that's an entirely whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
That it kind of forced me into that ecosystem, and I'm glad it did because it's really fun, and you know, I have a great time doing it, and so now we're just building our portfolio out, and
Well, now it's time to stabilize and level back out.
Right.
Like that's one thing that even when my company was only media, I had a family member, an extended family member, come back over from I think it was from the Philippines, and he was really impressed that I had started my own business. This is way back when. And he was telling me, oh no, you got to specialize in one type of video. And I was like, brother, you don't understand where I live. North Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, it's so rural. Yeah, I started with wedding videos, but then the winter came.
right.
There were so many years when I started my company that I was working a full-time job and then working every single day off to build where I had gone.
Right.
And going into marketing as well, and then events that weren't weddings, and then specialty music videos and stuff like that.
Right.
He told me one day, oh, you need to specialize because if you're what's the phrase, if you're a ace of all.
Oh yeah, jack of all trades, but
Ace of none.
something of none or
I
whatever.
think it's Ace of None.
Ace of
I
None.
don't know.
Yeah.
So something like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right.
Which doesn't make any sense now. I mean, like,
Well, and in certain industries it makes sense.
Yeah.
It depends on how you establish value, but it all depends on where your market is. And if you're living in a rural area, you need to be able to diversify, but then keep your brand and your focus and your quality the same.
Right.
There's a way to integrate that. And that's been fascinating for me because I did that with Pulse Productions. Pulse Productions was a brand where I went through and I was like professional media, and I spent the time creating different icons that represented different parts of what the company could
like that's
do.
already niche too. Media.
Yeah, media
Like that's
itself.
like you specialize in media.
That's overarching.
But then you're like niching yourself out and taking
Right.
media and niching like.
What I did
yourself.
was I niched it into parts of the brand that were still part of the main brand.
Right.
That way, no matter how a person came to me, they could go to that landing page, find that service, and then boom, boom, bam. And what I found was, as a person who's completely self-taught, the more commercials I filmed, the more strategic my editing for weddings became.
Right.
Or filming with intention.
You don't have 7
Because-
terabytes of footage now. You only have like 500
Well,
gigs.
when you script something and you film every single shot,
right.
and you are intentional with every single shot for a commercial, because you only take the shots you need, especially when you have a skeleton crew and you're running the lights, the camera, the sound, everything
Right.
yourself, you start to hone in on only taking what you need. And then when you go to edit a wedding and you have a guy filming like 2 hours in slow motion the entire time. Gosh.
Who did that? Who would have done
2
that?
hours in slow motion. So 2 hours slowed down
I didn't even know it was on slow
four
mo.
times.
Yeah.
4 times. If you slow footage down times 4 for
That's
2 hours,
so funny.
how much footage is there to look through, Josh?
You know,
So
I don't worry about that stuff anymore.
So
you
then,
know?
so then you learn to focus, even at a wedding where they want everything recorded all the time. You still pick and choose your shots.
Yeah.
Because if you're filming like a marketer or you're filming like an editor, you know the shots you're going to use.
I'm filming like
And
a
you're
marketer.
very intentional. So it was really interesting to have that transformation happen for my company. But then now, my mindset being from the media world exclusively, and
Right.
coming into this company that we built together, and seeing what works and what doesn't. Because if you're a videographer or you're a media production specialist and you don't optimize your time and you don't focus on efficiency,
100%.
you will just drown in the amount of time it takes to create a quality thing. And that's something that I learned. And you can apply it to the rest of your life or the rest of your other companies. So now that we're here, I'm like, dude, I'm answering all of these questions that could be answered with an email when we first onboard somebody.
Right.
And I'm like, dude,
Now we're like, bro.
if we had a status board with exactly what is happening every single second, then questions answered, no problem at all.
Right.
And together we're finding these pain points with a company that's now evolved into something completely, like, honestly.
Oh my gosh, dude, yeah.
Like we always had, we're entrepreneurs. We had our eyes on
Oh,
the
of course.
prize. But
Nothing
how quickly
prepares you for what
how quickly we got there has been like,
Right.
all right, well, this is now an issue.
Well, now we
that
gotta figure
didn't
this out.
anticipate. Yeah. So it's pretty
nobody
huge.
prepares you for that. I just feel very blessed for that, for the aspect of where we're at now. But you know, I still feel stressed. You know, there's still a
Yeah.
lot of stuff we have to handle, and if we don't fix things, then we can actually, like, as an entrepreneur, we don't have a job where we're like, this is what we're guaranteed income. We can literally lose like 15 clients instant.
Exactly.
Like there's nothing preventing us from going
And the
broke.
difference between being an entrepreneur and being an employee is that you don't have the security when you are the boss and you're the worker. So all you employees out there that hate your jobs, also appreciate the fact that you don't have to worry about it because you're guaranteed that paycheck. Yeah. I mean, there's all these stringent rules. There's all these, you have this structure. You're trading your time for that money. But the company's probably not going to fail if you have a good enough employer. You know, that's not a constant worry in your head. You go there, you do your time, you get your money. Well, as an entrepreneur, yeah, you have so much freedom. But also, but also,
Then you don't have your freedom.
if you mess up, it's not like you get talked to by management. If you mess up and
broke.
things start to stray,
Yeah.
then the whole thing could go up in flames. Which the entrepreneurs, they'll get it. Employees, it's not all glamour. There's a motorcycle behind
There's
me.
a motorcycle down
It's
there.
very exciting. I want a motorcycle. I hate my car now.
I want that now. That guy must be really cool.
He, some kind of midlife crisis thing.
No,
The
the
I bet he
revving.
has a leather jacket.
The revving
Probably
made
leather
me
jacket.
want to be that guy.
I appreciate that out of anywhere on Sherman, our entire office front, he chose right here
Chose
to
right
have his
there.
engine.
Yep.
It's really an homage to
I think he knew.
the podcast.
Yeah, he just wanted.
That's a guest star.
He's gonna comment, say that was me, ha ha ha, right?
And then we're going to have him on the next
then
episode.
we're gonna ask him why he revs his engine.
Yeah.
But I think, I
And
want
we're
to be
gonna tell
that
him how
guy.
cool that
I
was.
want to sell my car
So cool.
and rev.
Yeah. Screw my stupid car. I want a motorcycle. So, Josh, we were going to talk about future or like current marketing trends and the way things are shifting up. But I feel like we've talked a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just do this episode as an update on our lives and the company and where we're going.
I think so.
And then next episode, we'll have season 2.5.2. The second part of the welcome back to TBD Marketing's Whiskey and Business. I have to make a new intro, don't I? Goddamn.
Dang.
I have to edit that up with the TBD
See, I don't have to
logo.
worry about that though.
Because
Good luck.
you're not that side of things.
So good luck.
right.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about this whiskey and let's
Yeah.
wrap up.
So let's get a proper taste.
Again with the cheers and the tap. Honor to the studio.
It'd be like Tret.
He's so cool when he acts like me.
So Blanton's, I do like Blanton's. My taste has gone above Blanton's, so this is not like something I just order.
See that?
But it is a tried and
when
true.
you say shit like that, that's when you sound pretentious.
Listen, I am
okay.
pretentious.
My taste has gone above Blanton's.
I will 1000% wear the pretentious badge when it comes to bourbon.
Probably.
Not Scotch or rye. I
Yeah.
hate those. I don't know. The bourbon. So what I get, which is really good, is the caramel vanilla, right? You get that on the palate. Some people say raisin or
We believe-
or toasted.
We believe this is the finest bottle of whiskey ever produced. That's good marketing.
Straight out of Bland's. On the finish, I just get spice, which is nice. It's like a warmth feeling, but I like the vanilla and the caramel taste. It's very heavy on my palate, and that's why I really like this, because most of the bourbon I buy is the vanilla caramel heavy and the toasted almond. I love the toasted almond taste, but this doesn't really have that. But the spice at the end it makes it so where it's not like it doesn't. When you start drinking a lot of really good bourbon, it's not sweet. Don't get me wrong. It's not vanilla caramel like you're gonna just like sugar in here.
Tobacco works the same way. It's like,
Don't get me
this is
wrong.
really
Like,
sweet
don't
cigar.
buy this because
Person
you're like,
smokes
this
it.
is a vanilla caramel bourbon. Like, no.
It's not. This isn't your grandfather's
No, yeah.
bourbon.
But I can taste those, and I really like that because my favorite's Old Forester 1920. I mean, that's this tastes almost similar, but the aftertaste is a bit different. I really like this. This is a great go-to if you go somewhere and they don't have like a good selection. I will always get the blend.
No, it's a solid whiskey. I was looking for the proof because it's the onset of the taste. It comes on really strong.
But 95,
93.
proof? Yeah, 93 proof.
I mean, well, there are some whiskeys where they come on strong and then they just keep burning your tongue all the way down. Then they hit your stomach and you feel the eruption. They go back up and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
This isn't that.
That kind of burn.
It hits your tongue strong, but then you get all the notes that you're talking about. You get the sweetness down the back of,
it's
it's
not too
almost
strong
like
right
it
off the bat.
separates. Well, I mean, it packs a punch.
Well, 100%, yeah. Usually, because like when
Well,
you go,
it's like you mentioned the spice. It's like the spice is the very first thing. It's like spice,
Yeah.
but then like the almonds and
you're
like
like,
the kind of the sweetness
Yeah.
starts to come out, and that's I find it pretty
some
interesting.
people say toasted at the end, toasted or burnt caramel taste, And I'm like,
I
on
that.
earth have you
I don't know
actually
about
taken
that.
caramel and taste it burnt?
Yeah.
So how can you distinguish that as like a get? Like I can't distinguish a burnt caramel. I've never had burnt caramel in my life.
My buddy who owns the local wine shop, he says, okay, yeah, you're describing it as tastes you've never tasted before with like wine, but it's like what you imagine it would taste like based on the smell, based on like, because there are some tastes that you can't define.
So maybe they do
by
the
having tasted it
spice and
before.
caramel. Maybe spice and caramel taste burnt caramel.
Well, what they're thinking is the way they imagine burnt caramel would taste. And
Fair enough.
the wine folk, they specialize in that. I mean, there was one cheap wine we tried that wasn't part of his class where we're like, burnt tires. There's a very burnt tire-esque.
Yeah. I get that.
Tire.
I get that rubbery.
And we're like trying to analyze this wine that I don't even know where we picked it up, but
gosh.
and that's the thing. No, we've not eaten burnt tires, but we've smelled that shit, and we know what it probably tastes like. And that's really
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never done that with bourbon. Because
so
I am like
have to unlock your imagination, man. Just like take it all in. Like
we should have different bourbon or different whiskey. I feel like I'm very biased because this comes out of my collection. I have like a giant collection, and it sits in the office. And
because
we
of
just
the podcast, he just started obsessing.
And
which Josh has been known to do. Sometimes he gets really excited about something.
You know what though? My collection bites me in the butt. Okay, because
it's all bourbon.
That was used against me in my divorce.
Oh, true.
He's an alcoholic, even though I collect whiskey.
She's gonna soundbite this episode so hard.
You know what? Maybe this will be a nice catch if she listens to my podcast.
Yeah, she could be one of our 6 listeners. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us for Whiskey and Business Season 2, Episode 2. Season 2.5, Episode 1 of 2.5, something like that.
7, 6.
We are just gonna throw this in the Season 2 categorization, and then we're gonna keep going because.
And we'll probably be able to mash up if we can fix the audio of the 8 episodes we filmed at the Racketeer.
Yeah, well, I mean, when we brought the boom mic in, I feel like that's still saved somewhere in the Netherverse.
Yeah, if you guys comment if you've listened to this podcast till the end, comment below if you want to hear the episodes, even if the audio
it's going to be
sucks.
Really shitty audio. So bear with us because,
they were good episodes. Don't get me wrong.
Because you talk too loud. I'm the quiet
I do talk
one,
really
I know,
loud.
But
yes.
you and Paul, so I'm always on the left. We switched it up today for some reason, but I'm always on the left. And then there was Paul and Josh on the right. And then my mic would pick up their voices every single time, but their mic wouldn't pick up my voice because I'm chill. I'm a super chill dude, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But you guys would echo and reverberate in my mic every single time. So anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That was our. You know what though? I think we did good for the first time we've had a podcast that was 2. There were 3 people.
It was really good.
We dialed in the 2-person podcast. Don't get me wrong, and we have all the equipment for multi. We just used our knowledge with the 2-person, and we're like, oh, just add another microphone in the middle. No,
let's order those 4-part mics with our drone fund.
We should, yeah. With our drone fund. Shit, I gotta make up that. So if anybody wants FPV videos,
let us know.
Let us know. I did post on the Cove, so that I'm doing a promo for that. So I'm just gonna blitz with real estate. So real estate fly-throughs, just super cheap. So I did a poll of what their cost is for real estate videos. I want to see what the average is, and I'm just going to make a really good promo and just get a bunch of them kicked out really quickly. So
yeah, like 300 per house. Boom,
yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
Just knocking them out real quick. Because at that point, if I do that, then I can really focus, like just book it out really quickly, get a lot of jobs done, give some really good value to the real estate agents, and then we're good. But then I'll raise the prices. But I think we've never actually ran a promo. We've had promos in the back end.
We haven't advertised on anything ourselves.
So this will be a advertised promo. Yeah. So it'll be something I push out.
Worth a try.
But yeah.
Just, you got other stuff to do, so don't get lost. Don't get lost in the sauce.
Disappear into the FPV.
FPV.
I got my backpack. I got FPV drones in there.
Yeah, he carries them with him now.
So
his girlfriend's not a fan of FPV anymore.
Oh, she loves it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she actually knows. She can understand what I'm saying now.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode. We will see you next time.
Yeah. Peace out, guys. Later.